William Shatner went into space, and that guy's 90. What's that about?
Welcome back to the Tailosive EV podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're worried because we have lots of things to talk about. There was a pretty full week. Mike, thank you for the notes.
Yes,
first of
appreciate
all,
it. This is the first
Jay
time
Leno
we've prepared for an episode in a long time, so thank you, Mike.
And I haven't even looked at the notes. Hang on.
So Jay Leno drove the Aptera. Did you catch that, Mike?
Again? A second time?
What?
The real one now, not the
Really?
old one.
Apparently. Yeah.
You got a chance to drive it around. I don't think he likes it, but I liked it. He kept saying things like, "Why does it look so weird?" Or like, you know,
Well,
this
yeah,
is
I mean,
really going to be different.
Why don't you put solar
Wow.
panels on a Priz?
Did he just have his
Right.
eyes closed the whole time?
He was
think
driving
so. It's
weirdly
hard to
on the
tell.
road. So maybe.
Yeah, he was. People are concerned about the Aptera's width, but I was watching it and I was like, it clearly can fit in this lane, but he keeps like driving over the lines, like he kept not turning it enough or just
And
putting one
he gets
wheel
pulled
over
over in the
side.
middle of the show, and the cop thinks he's drinking, and he's like,
There was a
no,
cop
I'm just
behind
driving
him at
with
one
my
point.
eyes closed.
No,
No,
really?
You're actually
No
not
way.
too
They're
far
like-
from it, Nick. There was a cop right behind him, and then they cut to another scene.
I love it. I love it. Maybe he didn't get pulled over.
That
They
was
just cut
amazing.
it.
The Jay Leno's garage crew did a good job with the B-roll, though. They took some pretty epic shots of the Aptera. I was like, oh, I want this thing to come out. But as I predicted, it was the very first time they've officially said next year for mass production. And I was like, should have started with that. They kept saying into 2021, and I was like, nope, that's not happening. That's not. Don't stick with that. Now they've changed their tune next year, which is what I thought it was going to be, but technically now official delay. There you have it.
Rip Aptera predictions.
Sadness.
At least mine.
At least you're...
Yeah.
Did you guys catch any of the Giga Berlin factory tours?
You know,
I caught the colors and the headlights. I don't know if you
Ooh.
guys have.
Oh, the headlights look dope.
Yeah.
I have not. Tell
I
me
love
about these.
that. Basically, the headlights are adaptive, so they're kind of like
Iguanas?
Yeah,
I think you're thinking about Chameleon, but yeah.
Whatever.
But yeah, they like automatically will shine light out of
Shut up.
like
Siri.
where
So your car
opposite
can now
vehicles
go
are coming.
cross-eyed if something breaks.
It can, but it's also
Possibly.
nice that the headlights aren't blinding people everywhere. They can now just blind
Yeah.
the road, which thankfully the road doesn't have ice. So
If it
Or
does,
you could use it to blind
sorry,
it
Ray.
everywhere and blind everyone.
so the next year's
Ugh.
Christmas mode is going to be really epic.
I did not think of being
Ooh.
able to apply like a Christmas mode to a Model Y's headlights. That's a good point.
Well, they're not colorful, but that should be added.
Dude, we need RGB headlights. Why has Tesla not gotten
Yeah.
on this? We need RGB
They
headlights,
exist.
Elon. Elon,
I'm sure they exist.
get us RGB headlights. Thank you. He said he'll
My
think
mind
about
was
it.
blown when they showed the seats of the vehicle bolted to the battery pack. I was like, wait, you can do that? Oh my god.
It is structural.
So that's clever.
Sounds like a shocking
It's a-
experience.
Structural seat.
Ah!
Don't spill
They're
your
like
sippy
Tesla
cup.
unintentionally has floor warming now. So
Floor warming.
if you want the floor of the car to warm up a bit, just floor it a few times. You know, dock that safety score, let it make its way down.
It's okay.
Oh, that reminds me, we need our weekly periodic safety score checkup from
Ooh.
Randy and Mike. What are you at? What are we at now?
Oh my god. Let's see.
So right now I'm at 98. I've gotten hundreds almost every day, and I'm pretty sure I'm on the precipice of 99 if I know how Tesla is doing their averaging correctly. So
Okay,
I
so that means
I could be in the next rollout.
you could be in the 10.3 wave. Interesting.
Ooh, coming into
That's exciting. Gonna be
Or a week.
It's Friday, so yeah. He said a week from today. That's good. I needed to pick your brain about this. Tesla has started rolling out insurance in Texas officially,
I
and
saw that, dude.
they are offering different rates dependent on your safety
On your
score.
safety score. Uh-huh.
How do you feel about this?
I just paid for the next 6 months of insurance, and it almost made me go buy a Tesla. Just reading that. I was
Really?
like, I entertained the thought for about 30 seconds. Like, what if I just got a Model 3, you know? And
That brings me to my next question.
Literally,
Nick.
that would save
what
me
would you
so
buy?
much money.
Just the 3? You'd get like the cheapest 3
I'd
possible?
probably get the
just to hold
cheapest
you
3
over?
possible until I could get the Cybertruck.
Get some
But
LFP batteries with that.
yeah,
I hope.
I'd get the
don't know. I
AAA
can't
battery
tell.
version with just a bunch of AAAs in the floor. You have to replace them every few hundred miles.
You
But
say that. They're not that different. There's a dimension for AAAs I'm sure we could go off
How
of.
many cells are in a Tesla again? And how long
only
is it going to take?
1,000.
They're 1835 cells or something. I don't know.
That's
But
the size.
Just a bunch of
what
Duracell.
are you at, Randy?
I just looked right now, and I am at 96. Still.
Hey,
That's
pretty good.
improvement,
So
though.
basically,
Dude,
he's the world's most unsafe Tesla driver.
No, not even. So what is? What
That would
are,
be Ross Gerber.
What are you suspecting, Mike? How can I get my score up quicker?
So living in the Bay and having people, just yesterday I saw almost an SR Model Y, which are very rare, almost get
I saw
clobbered
one too.
by a Toyota 4Runner and a Honda Ridgeline. Almost got destroyed by road rage. But the key that I have found is just drive as if like there's 10 cars in front of you, between you and the actual car in front of you, and then
So like a grandma.
Yeah, like a grandma. If you get passed so many times like I do, or like get cut off, just slow down slowly and you should be fine. It's all about grandma driving at this point, which kills me.
Do the vehicles or the car that's closest in front of you, does it need to show up on your display, or can you be so far back it doesn't even show up on the display?
I usually keep it to where like you can see the taillights, or not taillights, but at least like the model barely.
You know, just about 3 miles in the distance, you want to just be able to barely see the red
what I was
taillights
gonna
at
say.
night. It just
I
that far.
have
figure
about
if it shows
3
up
miles
on
in
my
between you.
display, then it counts as tracking it. But if I'm so far back it doesn't show up on my display, I feel like it's not tracking anything.
If there
that's
are
what's
any
hitting me.
vehicles on the horizon, you have to stop and pull over and wait. If they're past the
Honestly,
horizon, though, it's safe to go.
That's how it acts, honestly, because it has me. Everything else I have is perfect, except for unsafe following.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
Unsafe.
I'm in the red. It's not even yellow. Everything else I got perfect
Some
green
guy-
scores, except for
Yeah.
unsafe following.
Some guy commented on our last show that he just uses autopilot everywhere, and that's how he got a perfect score.
I don't know if you can do that. If you can, sir, please tell me your secrets.
I will go read more of these. Yes, please tell me what you mean. I want to be in a
He
rollout.
just said like it doesn't count against you as long as you're on autopilot, so just stay on autopilot all the time. But I thought Mike was saying
Beautiful.
if someone cuts you off, it hurts your score. Does that happen whether you're on autopilot or not?
I found that if someone's cutting you off, but you have like at least 6 or 7 cars of nothing between you and the next car, you're
Right.
you're okay as long as you slow down, like not a crazy amount, but a considerable amount,
Right.
so that it doesn't
Right.
count it as hard braking. I think you'll be safe, but it's been real frustrating, and
We don't care about safety. We care about safety scores.
Exactly.
There's a
At
difference.
one point, there was a yellow light that I was driving through. I'm like, this is going to turn red. And I just have, it was going to become red, and I was going to have to drive through. I'm like,
Oh my
let's
god.
just hit the accelerator pedal because I don't want hard braking.
This is crazy. People are like, my score, my insurance rates, I can't stop.
Just keep driving.
Sir, do you know why I pulled you over? Yes, because my safety score needs to get higher.
I'm like interested in this because I saw someone posting the premium prices for different safety score ratings, and I was like, I know how hard it was for Randy and Mike to get their score over 90 and how like active they were about that. So am I gonna have to actively make sure I drive the car a specific way just for the sake of my budget? Just to be
Yes,
like, I don't want to
actually.
spend more than $100. I gotta keep it low. So I don't know. Like, if they were offering far cheaper rates, I don't know what insurance rates are like in Texas, but If it was like substantially cheaper for the higher scores, I might be willing to do it. But I wonder if there's an annoyance point where you're just like, nah, I'm just gonna drive the way I want. I'll pay the premium.
It seems to me that these safety scores are here to stay.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially if they're using them with insurance. They're hopefully here to improve and get better. But yeah, I don't think they're going away.
Yeah, hopefully the safety scores learn from the humans instead of the humans learning from the safety score.
Yeah, because right now all we're doing is we're trying to cheat it.
Yeah,
So
Pretty much.
appease how
I will
think just
cheat
drive
the
safe.
score, even if it means theoretically breaking the law.
Ooh, Randy, you just admitted to breaking the law on a show.
Theoretically, no, not me. I'm
Mr.
perfect.
FBI,
Well, actually, I'm not.
Randy
I'm at
lives
This
at
is not life
123
advice.
USA Way in a state.
in Boca Chica.
Randy's in a state. Spoiler.
He is in a state.
But
In a state of
Spoiler.
insanity.
yeah, like I know. So Nick is in Texas without a Tesla, and you guys have Teslas, but you're not in Texas. How many of you guys would be up for letting your insurance rates be decided by your safety score?
100%. I am a grandma driver through and through. I have always been a grandma
Nick
driver.
will take it.
When I
fair
read the
enough.
news this morning, literally for 30 seconds, I was entertaining the idea of going to the Tesla website and ordering a Tesla.
It'll
Like,
take a while to get to you.
Wow.
it'll take a while to get to me, which is, part of the reason why I didn't
Was
do
that the deciding factor?
it. The insurance? No, it was just like...
No,
I
the
did-
wait time.
Oh, the wait time? I mean, the budget was the deciding factor, and be like, oh, I could just save this money for
Oh,
the
okay.
Cybertruck. I'd rather just spend a little bit more on insurance now and get the car I actually want in the future. But yeah,
Okay.
like I just
That's fair.
paid for insurance, and it's like way too expensive.
Spoiler. I'm going to get Nick to order a Model 3 by the end of this show.
All
That's
right,
my goal.
ladies and gentlemen, let's see if he can do it. This will be
Last
impressive.
week and
How
the week
about you, Mike?
before was Rivian, and this week is Model
Yeah.
3.
I'm like Saul Goodman, basically. I'm just trying
Yes, you are Saul.
to show up in court and have this
I should call you.
big conversion. Would you let insurance rates be decided by your safety score, Mike?
It's a double-edged sword, only because
Yes.
I've talked about this with my wife so many times, and like, what
Mm-hmm.
if we just buy a nice beater car that I can take corners at ridiculously high speeds like I want to, and enjoy it, instead of being like watched 24/7 by the interior camera and exterior cameras by software that's saying whether I am a safe driver or not, and then whether my insurance premiums go up or down. It's tough because it would be
I am
nice.
perfect.
It's
No mistakes.
it's nice to at least have some fingers on that dial, being able to change the insurance price to make it go lower. But
Sure.
it's a dial. It can go the other way as well.
This is
And
true.
That's true.
It
We've
could-
never had this dial before.
No, and
Humanity has always had to rely on flow to find the lowest rates, but now we have the ability to change that dial ourselves.
I blame the Geico Gecko.
Sponsored by Progressive.
He could have stopped this.
What's your safety score? For you.
He could have stopped this, and he couldn't. Yeah, I mean,
Randy's following distance is too close. Switch to Geico and drive as close as you want.
That's uncomfortably
Are
good.
you in good hands?
Thank you.
Between that and doing Luis's dad, you're a good Aussie impersonator.
Thank you. You inspired me from all your impressions.
Hey.
there we go. Yeah, so I would say overall, like, if you were gonna take the ethical and moral high ground, yes, it's good that this exists.
I have the high ground.
But in terms of like doing what you want to do as a human and being
It's over,
independent-
Michael. I have the ethical high ground.
You
underestimate my safety score. Don't try it. You underestimate
just
my
imagine-
aggressive turning. Don't try it.
Don't try it.
Don't try it.
The score just. They're going to put a widget on the top of the display that has your score in real time.
That would
Just-
be nice.
Just
That's-
like the Priuses used to have like the energy efficiency, and everyone was always like really obsessed with getting perfect energy score. We need
Yes.
I would be looking at that more than I look at the speedometer, and that's a problem.
That's a con. I mean,
Look at the wrong
it would
way.
be nice to be able to see real time what it doesn't like and what it does like, versus like you get to your destination, it's like I don't remember doing aggressive turning or like unsafe following.
Little kind of like Sims, you have docking points show up on the visualization, so someone cuts you off or you get close and then it's like ding ding
or like it shows on the
showing
map.
up.
Yeah.
Masuno.
Or at least like some feedback, at least in terms of instead of like a number saying I did unsafe following and I've got no clue in the trip where it happened. Like for instance,
Right.
the other night, zero traffic. I was never following anyone too closely, but apparently I got docked like 4%. I'm like,
Ooh.
why? So it would be nice to at least on the safety score, if anyone from Tesla does listen to this podcast, add like
Obviously.
locations of where it was tracking, like here's where you did some aggressive turning, or like here's likely where the aggressive turning was happening,
Or it could save a little clip from the cameras.
yeah, if
There
we're
we
getting
go.
into like this whole Sentry viewer for the phones, why not add it to the safety
Oh,
score
man.
as well?
That sounds awesome. How about you, Randy? I know you've had kind of the hardest time with the score, so would you take the lower rates?
I have the two of us.
Absolutely not. No.
Ooh, okay.
That's what I expected.
Randy's
Yeah.
sticking
We have a
with
full
Geico.
spectrum here on the show.
Yeah, I'm
We have
not okay with this.
Nick all on board, Mike unsure,
Randy's no.
Randy definitely not.
Yeah,
You're
100%
I'll
no.
pay more for insurance.
It's not that I pay more. My age is showing. I'm older than all of you, which means I have a longer
He was
driving
like-
history.
One,
One, I have a longer record, and that is more valuable. Driving history should be. It should, just like a credit score in your credit history, driving history should be the number one deciding factor, not how
Yes.
well you are navigating the daily, how your daily. Because the thing is, this does not fly in New York City or
no.
India. Like, you can't do this. And this does now fix an issue that we brought up a while ago about I don't ever see level 5 with the way New York is just designed, but
Right.
that's the secret. People in New York will never get it. So but it shouldn't be based off of arbitrary, you need to be 10 vehicles behind or otherwise it's unsafe following. It should be based off of incident reports, because that's what insurance is already been established on how it evaluates you. Is there a case to
Right.
say that insurance needs to, maybe it's a dated formula and to be changed? We can, I think there's an argument to be made there, but having some arbitrary number based off a 100 score, I don't think that's it. I
Yeah.
think it should take more of the credit score style where points go, not things are docked from you, but how much points are actually get added to you. And that is more of a decide, like you get a lower premium if you're above, a 300, like instead of things being taken away and it's just getting kind of harder to recoup those numbers the longer you're driving. It should start you off, you should be instead of starting off at 100, you should be started off at some particular point, but driving history should be the deciding factor of that. So I'm happily okay paying, even though I have like a brand new, the car that I have, I'm paying way less than $100 a month, or I would be if I did the monthly installment. I'm okay sticking with them, but assuming I didn't have USAA, I still don't think I would go with Tesla based off of how volatile this metrics is moving right now. It's just it's in its infancy. If there's a refinement done to it, and I think there's a better way for us to gauge our driving habits in lifetime, like what Mike was saying, then maybe. But as of right now, I don't like the idea of the car that I drive also being the people who do my insurance, which is also the same people who do my service center. I don't like everything so vertically integrated, because that's how you will encounter anti what's that term?
My aunt is
Antitrust?
really nice.
Auntie. You don't want to talk to Auntie.
That threw me off.
Monopoly?
You
That's
you
also
get
my
better
favorite
rates
game.
by shopping around. It just it feels less consumerism. It feels less capitalist.
Okay. Randy, I would agree that you'd probably get a better rate somewhere else if you really, really, really shopped it. But there's a level of convenience involved with having it all just vertical stack. You know, Tesla's going to take care of any incident front to back. You know, it's going to be fixed in their service center, paid for by their insurance company. You know, vehicles made by Tesla, owned by you. You know, maybe you lease it through them. You know, like it's all just this one big ecosystem.
So now they're judge, jury, and executioner based off of your whole.
Yeah, exactly. So
that's
you can
not
just
a
die.
good thing.
You can die whenever. You'll never.
Yeah, that's not a good thing.
Fingers.
I could tell you from personal experience working from Geico, it is not in the interest of the company to just do payouts.
I didn't know you worked for Geico. Where's your accent?
That's a requirement if you work there.
I didn't. No, I'm not doing it. I'm too far deep.
Abandoned.
Yeah, no, I'm too deep in my thought. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not in the company's interest to be judge, jury, executioner when it comes to when you need to use your insurance, because insurance is meant to be there for when you need it. Hey, stop. So.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. with the new mic, it's definitely gonna hear Kika scratching, so I'm nipping that in the bud right now. Stop it! You better lay down.
Mike was doing something.
The old mic
Man,
was
the new
so
mic.
much better. This new mic.
I don't know. I'm in favor as long as it provides better rates, because from what I've seen, I mean, not everybody can do USAA as good as the rates they offer, but from what I've seen, a lot of people won't understand how to insure a Tesla vehicle, so they just charge way too much for it.
Exactly.
And Tesla comes in and they're like, well, we have data on these cars. We know how much it costs to work on them, and we can analyze a lot more stuff. And because our cars have cameras, we can figure out who's at fault, and we know our cars, so we're going to provide better rates than everyone else. So as long as it's providing better rates, I don't really care if they're judge, jury, executioner, because that's what matters to me. It's just like, can you get the price down? If no one else can get it lower than they can, then I'm all for it. But if someone else can miraculously get it lower without the same data, then great.
Have Apple authorized retailer stores that will work on your stuff, and they don't work for Apple, but they are approved to be a certified repair shop through them. Likewise, you don't have to know a Tesla for it to be. Geico has partnered dealerships that aren't strictly with the Tesla service center, that they are Tesla certified, that they are trained through Tesla to work on that stuff. So I don't agree with that statement of being able to only not if you don't understand how a Tesla works, so we're going to charge more. I don't think that's a considered factor, because when you're filling out your forms to get insurance, they ask you the same questions. Does this model have daytime lights? Does it have autopilot? What's the security system on it? Does it have... So the things that you fill out is the stuff that's universal across all the other vehicles as well. They don't care if there's a computer system on board, and that has nothing to do with your rates or your insurance or anything like that. The only thing that matters with you using any software at that point is liability. At the end of the day, if there's an accident, then liability falls on you at that point. But when it comes to price matching, okay, I'm shopping around, Liberty Mutual, what do you got? They're just gonna be like, do you have daytime headlights? Check. Do you have auto braking, ABS? Check. Like, it's the same universal security across the board, and that's how they decide the risk of that vehicle. If it's an old slugger that doesn't have any of that stuff, it's gonna be a higher risk as opposed to something that's more accident preventative tech that's in there, that's across all vehicles. So I don't think anything to do with the Tesla, specifically being a Tesla, increases your insurance. Just like having the old "my car's red, therefore my insurance goes up" is crap. That is BS. That's not true. That is 100% false. It does not matter what the color of the vehicle is. When they ask you what the color is, it's because they need to make sure that's the same way my car is registered as black, or Drew, yours is white. They need to. It's just an identifier that is your car, that's not been forged or counterfeited through taking the VIN number off of it or the speedometer. So everything is just the makeup of the thing. But it does not matter what the color it is. It's kind of discriminatory at that point, right? Isn't it? Are we going to be racist towards cars now based off of the color? So there's a lot of.
But I have seen high premiums for Teslas.
The high premium for Tesla might just be because of the value of the car. It has nothing to do with the tech itself, but the actual car itself. You would see those same prices with BMWs and high-end Porsches and stuff like that.
I can recall from Mike's story. What was your insurance quotes when you first got your Y? I remember you.
They didn't even know how to quote it. I mean, this was in April.
They didn't know what it was.
They didn't know what it was. This was April of 2020, and so all they thought was, well, you have a Tesla, and you say it's a crossover SUV. We can give you the quote for a Model X, and that's all we can do.
Oh gosh.
Well, then that's the insurance. Who's your insurance?
So no, that was me shopping around for insurance when I first got the Y, or like even before I got the Y. Like it was this done deal that the Y was coming. We needed to get insurance, and I think at the time was it Allstate or AAA, one of the two, maybe not triple, one of some insurance entity, and they didn't know what to do with it, and so they're like, okay, well, we'll just call it Model X. That was a separate issue in regards to the vehicle was too new. But even so, I guess
that company they could be at risk of not only getting a heavy fine, but if it was a smaller, because there's indie insurance companies, they can lose their license because that's lying. It's not a Model X. That's a whole different car. You can't just call a Honda Accord a Honda Civic and call it a day and get a higher charge out of that.
I think they were pricing it as an X.
Yeah,
I don't know if they were
saying,
calling
well,
it
we
an
don't know what to call it yet because it's not in our database, but here's what we do for Model X's. I'm like, well, it's more like a Model 3, and they're like, well, it's an SUV, so we're going to treat it like a Model X. So,
if you had the DOI get involved, Department of Insurance get involved with that company would get a disgusting fine, and they would be at risk of losing their license because that's very inappropriate. That's wrong practice.
But Mike doesn't care about that. He just
no.
wants
But what I'm
insurance,
saying
so
is
that's why
that
he got Tesla.
I'm refuting the fact that a Tesla is going to be more expensive because it's a Tesla. What they're doing if they're quoting you on a Model X is that's wrong. They should have never done that. That's absolutely inaccurate. So
well, yeah, they shouldn't, but
that was the only
happens.
guidance they could give at the time. Even though it was bad guidance, it's the only thing that they could do when someone approaches them saying, "Hey, Tesla literally just started producing these. I'm gonna get one. It's coming next week. I need insurance for it. What can you do?" And so their only option was, this is the only number we can give you. We can't give you an S. Well, I guess what they could have done is maybe looked at like things that were similar to it, like a premium Lexus or something like that, and been like, okay, well, here's what we charge for a premium Lexus, and then
at this point, was the Model Y actually has it already been shipped? Where is it in
Model
people's
Ys
hands?
were already out there and about. Like
then you had like a bad rep or something, because at that point, once a vehicle has shipped, it is in the database that everyone uses the same database for vehicles. The same stuff I would have a VIN number and things like that. So having a vehicle that's already in production, that's already shipped, and an insurance company has no information on that vehicle, never do business with that insurance company. In that sense, write them off forever, because that was a terrible move.
Because I know Mike's not the only one with that story. I've heard this countless times, especially with Tesla. There's a lot of people that run into all these issues whenever they try to insure. So I think it's a good thing for Tesla to get involved, because it allows them to simplify that whole process. Sure, they might collect more data than other companies do, but like I'm all for it if it allows the rates to be lower. That's all I care about.
Yeah, and I applaud Rivian as well, because they also saw it on the horizon. They're like, well, we could probably do something too, and they launched their own thing. I don't know if it's actually like happened in as many states as they claim or want to, but at least
it sounds more complicated than they're making it seem. But
but at least like there's some effort towards it, which is definitely beneficial for both the consumer and partially on the company. Yeah, the company they have more effort and money that they have to shovel into it, and a whole lot of headache. But if you're like Tesla, where you just hire like a firm that is a separate firm, but you just kind of buy them out, and then they do all the work for you, and they operate under your name, and you make sure that they're doing the right thing, it's not too much damage on the company. And
it's not Tesla's sole source of profit.
No.
Like with insurance companies, that's pretty much the whole business, is trying to make pay their employees and grow their whole company off of providing insurance for people. So there's a certain amount of profit that needs to be there. Whereas Tesla, that's not their goal. Their goal is to accelerate the transition, get more people into EVs. So the insurance is like a side thing. It's kind of like the supercharging network, as in it's supposed to kind of fund itself, but not much more than that.
Yeah.
Tesla
So-
doesn't need insurance money to be profitable. They just keep winning at what they're doing
Yeah.
now.
For sure.
They broke
Did you
over
wanna
800
address
again,
the-
820. I think
Yeah,
that's when I
they're
looked. Those guys just don't know
They're
how to
above-
stay down.
No, they don't. Well, they're down there for a while. It's still not an all-time high, I believe, but getting there. It's about to be.
Yeah, it's about to be.
Oh, wow. It's over. Man, this morning it's at 8:30. Jeez.
Yep. Oh, my
My
God.
goodness. It's getting close.
880 is its all time.
Yeah.
Well, based off its current numbers that you have, 880
Correct.
is its highest. But these guys
Right.
are doing well, and despite any not controversy, but despite any hiccups of future planned vehicles, it doesn't seem to slow them down. But I have yet to tell Brittany what's going on with Cybertruck, but I don't think she cares because she would still be winning in
Okay.
that same. She's in that same category of going her way anyway, so she'd be happy.
I need to
but-
hear your theories.
Wow.
I know Nick's been up all night
I
because
have
of this
been.
news.
I literally
Carrie had a
haven't
good
slept in days.
What's Carrie's theory?
So her initial idea, I sent it to her when I was on the phone with a buddy last night, and after the phone call, she's like, "Is this because of full self-driving? Are they thinking about like increasing the price?" I'm like, "That's not a bad theory, because then you don't have people trying to buy it at 10K, and then like whenever Cybertruck comes out next year or the year after, when they raise it to like maybe 12 or 14 or God forbid 20K, they don't have to honor a whole bunch of people who reserved the Cybertruck in 2020 or 2019 or 2021 at a 10K FSD price or 7K or whatever. So it could be a way to avoid that issue of having to honor the 10s and 15K or I guess 10K price, while at the same time, I don't know, not earning a profit, but at least like making sure that they make it as simple as possible on themselves throughout this order process and waiting game for this truck. So I didn't think it was a bad idea or bad theory, along with the fact that they're probably done counting who's ordering what in terms of tri-motor, dual motor, and single motor.
Yeah.
So
What's your theory, Nick?
Okay, so Cybertruck actually doesn't exist. What we saw on stage was just an elaborate hologram. That's why it cracked. The steel ball actually broke the hologram technology, and it actually doesn't exist.
That scene where Hitler takes off his glasses like this right before he starts to snap, and
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
that's what I feel like.
That's
I'm
right.
going up to my hand like just.
Everyone who does not have a Cybertruck reservation, please leave the room.
Yes. It just makes me worried about the Cybertruck. There, I said it. So much
Well
so
done.
that I have 4 tabs open right now of various Model 3s and Model Ys.
Well, tell me about your reservation.
nothing's changed.
It hasn't changed, I don't think.
You can't modify it anymore.
I can't modify it, but I have one for each, so I'm good.
You
Does
don't
it
need
say
the
if you
page
have full
anymore.
self-driving?
let me check. I actually haven't signed into the Tesla
Mine
account.
says it does.
'Cause
I checked last night.
I've been seeing a bunch of people saying they're not letting you modify your order, and there's a bunch of people that locked in FSD that no longer see FSD included.
All right, well, let's see here.
I'll check again, but at least
The
on
fine
mine,
print did say a long
Cybertruck.
time ago that they have the right to modify the order at any point, and blah blah blah. And
Oh, yeah.
They do.
so-
They do.
and they will, and they did.
All right, let's see. I have my 3
Nick's
reservations
the
here.
expert.
It's loading slowly.
$600 invested in Cybertruck reservation.
You could almost buy
Yeah, mine still has FSD
a whole
on
stock.
the single motor.
Good.
Let's check
Good.
out the dual motor.
Yeah, both my dual and tri that have full self-driving still have it, And
Yep,
That's
mine
good.
has full self-driving on the dual and the tri.
Good. So what's your theory, Nick? Why do you think they did this?
And also with the tri-motor, it does as well. Okay, my theory,
Okay, good.
actual theory, besides the fact that Cybertruck doesn't exist, they haven't, Giga Austin has not come online in the way that they expected it to. We're still a ways out from 48, 95, 70 cells, whatever the new
Whoa.
ones are.
20, 48, 95 cells.
Whoa.
That's a really big battery.
Whatever those cells are, that we even made it 4670 cells, 4680 cells, 4680. That's right, 4680, 4680
Well done.
cells. We made a T-shirt about it. I remember these things. They're
Nailed it.
They're not able to spool up 4870, 4880, 4780.
Just say the new batteries. You don't have to remember the number.
I'm trying to be like a
say the
cool
new
kid who
batteries.
can remember the
4680.
name, but I can't. So.
No, it's not working. It's having the inverse effect.
The new batteries are not going to
Yeah.
be ready for any time soon, especially at Cybertruck scale. So my optimistic hope of them being done by the end of 2021, not going to happen. My optimistic hope of them being done by 2022, not going to happen. I'm now moving my optimistic hope to 2023, possibly. That's assuming we don't have continued supply chain supply chain. I can talk great, guys. This is going well. Supply.
Do you have a tongue?
Wow.
You have a tongue.
This is not working. The supply chain is broken, guys. How about that? So they cannot.
Yes, it is.
They cannot make enough Model Ys, Model 3s. Because I'm looking at. I was like, okay, so if the Cybertruck is at least 2 years out, I can get a Model 3 or Model Y for now. Because, sorry to break the news to you guys, but my little gas car is having some problems. It's been down at Starbase one too many days. It either needs to go into
Who
the
could have
shop.
predicted that such a thing?
I know. Who would have thunk? Getting out on the beach every day at the wind and the sand and the dust. It needs to go to the shop, or I need a new car. One of the two. But nothing's urgent. It's
The
just
chop
like
shop.
it's now
Yeah.
rattling and squeaking and making weird noises and not starting every time. But it does always start when I need it to. But anyway, I'm like, maybe I just get a Model 3 or Model Y to hold me over for 2 years until the Cybertruck comes out. But I'm looking at Model 3s. April 2022 for a base standard range plus Model 3. What the heck?
With sport wheels.
Yeah,
Switch it to aero wheels.
Switch it to aero wheels.
Goes
It's
till
thinking.
July, I think.
July.
Yeah.
Fully subsidized.
Wow. So then I'm like, all right, so maybe I won't be getting a base Model 3. Long range is December. Performance is November, and if I'm spending long range or performance money, I'd rather just get a Model Y because A, I'll like actually fit that vehicle, and B, I'd much rather have an SUV. And so if I'm going to spend that much money, I might as well get like either a long range Model Y, but that's out till April of 2022. So I'd have to get a performance Model Y, which is in December, and that's like $60,000. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, Tesla, you just like upsold me from a $40,000 Model 3 to a $60,000 Model Y. How did this happen?
Wow.
So yeah,
Very
I'm not
carefully.
sure if I'm going to be getting a Tesla anytime soon, just because they're all ordered out. I can guarantee you if there was a Model 3 that was reasonably priced, either the standard range or the long range, that was available within the next 4 weeks, I probably would pull the trigger on like some sort of a lease or maybe a loan or something like that, just to hold me over.
Have you checked inventory?
I have not, no. But this is South Texas.
I'd encourage
so,
that because those are built. You don't have to wait on
that's
those as
true.
They're a
long.
little
But they
bit higher
typically
price
have
than-
full self-driving, though, right?
Yeah.
Which you like, which you want.
Well,
right?
I wouldn't get that on a car I'm only going to have for 2 years. I'm not that dumb.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
it'll hold its value. You'll probably make money on it, right?
Used inventory, I guess, maybe.
See, the gears
if I
are
was
turning.
leasing it,
guys.
I wouldn't get it. But let's see. My zip code is that used Model 3s.
That.
I
Just
didn't
saying,
want to read
if
it.
it holds full self-driving in 2 years, FSD is going to be worth more. You can sell that car and get pretty much everything you paid for it back.
Yeah. Especially if it's
Yeah.
LFP, then its
Okay.
battery lasts longer.
Drew's gonna sell you on something today. He said it.
That's if you're
He
lucky.
said it.
I know.
Next week,
There aren't that
Drew
many, though. Holy
sells
cow.
Michael on the
No,
Aptera.
no, they're very.
There are not that
Following
many
week.
Model
So what's-
3s or Model Ys. Wow.
What's your while Nick is finding his next car, what's your theory, Randy?
About Cybertruck?
Yeah, why do you think they changed the site so much?
Honestly,
Got rid of all this.
I'm not as I don't think I'm as cynical as everyone, or at least you, Drew. I watched your
good.
video. I'm not as cynical.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for not being so cynical. I
No,
just
we
think,
need that. It's refreshing.
Yeah, I think I just think there's gonna be a price increase. I think they're just gonna adjust for what they're closer to the real price. I think there's still gonna be a single motor, and a dual and a tri. I do not think we are losing features or losing options. I think, if anything, we're probably getting closer to an actual announcement now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. I think if you had to take away all that, I think they're cutting off. It had to have plateaued reservations and all that already, and if they're adjusting the website, or at least that section of the website for Cybertruck, I think we're getting closer to something that's happening that we will know, like general population GP will be in the know about it soon. And I don't think we're losing single motor. I just think they're gonna have adjusted prices for it, and maybe some new. What Mike said, or I guess more appropriately what Kerry had mentioned, that it's going to correlate with the new adjusted FSD pricing as well. I think the only thing that's changing are the numbers. The idea of up to 500 miles, I just think that's playing it conservative. I don't think that's the best option that you're going to get day one off of the factory line, driving at 60 miles per hour. Then you'll be rated at 500 miles. I don't think it's up to. I think we're going to get 500 plus, 400 plus, 300 plus, as we were seeing before, just because in my gut, they've always been very good with that part of it. They've always been very good at efficiency with these batteries. They're never great with timelines. They're terrible with timelines. But they've always delivered with battery. That's the one thing I think I have utmost confidence is in their battery. So if they're getting something locked in with the battery and getting things locked in with even maybe the 49 73 40 if they're getting things locked in, then I think it's time to use less of a wide market adoption rate and use more of a fine tuning, and we're getting into that point of fine tuning. I think I think adjusting the prices is the most appropriate thing, because it's not a good look if the cheapest vehicle you can get is one that's not out yet right now for 40,000.
Right.
That's not a good look for Tesla, and it's not out. It's a promise that you're a promised 40,000 that's not even going to be 40,000, and you don't have a way of paying the full 40 anyway. So I just think price adjustments. I have every confidence right now that we're going to get all three motors, and we're going to get the FSDs that were already locked in. I just think they're getting closer to, like, something's going to happen, and maybe it will correlate with FSD, but I think we're going to get some type of announcement with Cybertruck if they're doing this so quietly behind the scenes. And this is what we can see as anybody goes to the website now. That tells me something's brewing.
I think something's definitely brewing, but I'm more paying attention less so to the FSD and the removal of the prices, more so the removal of all specs.
Yeah.
They don't show rear-wheel drive, dual motor, tri-motor anymore. Mm-hmm. I'm not talking configurator. I'm talking the side of the page where they give you, okay, what's the towing capacity of this trim? What's the towing capacity of this? They got rid of all that. Now there's no mention of one truck having more motors than the other. There's no mention of one having longer range than the other. It's just, here's what it looks like, and it'll go up to 500 miles with 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. That's it. There's nothing else mentioned. And I'm like, if they were just adjusting pricing, or if they didn't want people to lock in FSD anymore, why would they change that aspect of the site? That doesn't make sense to me. Like, just show the 3 trims, and then, okay, there's only one option when you reserve one for $100. You can't select which trim you want, but you're at least telling people, hey, we plan on offering, 3 different options for whatever fits your needs best. They get rid of all that now, which makes me think there's a drastic redirect approach with how they're going to bring the Cybertruck to market. Either it's not going to be dual motor, tri-motor anymore. It's going to be just all of them have this, and I think that the prices were just too dang low. They got way too many people buying it, and now they're probably in the situation similar to what Nick's in, where he was like, oh, the Cybertruck's value is so great, I'm getting that. And they're realizing that, okay, it's going to take us forever to build these trucks. And I've also been just talking to my brother-in-law. The price of steel has gone up.
Totally.
Incredible amount.
All
And
commodities.
Thanks, SpaceX.
Thanks.
Yeah,
it's
SpaceX
more
has
than just.
bought all
It's
of the
bigger
steel
than just
in the world.
SpaceX. It's more than just them. It's just like a labor shortage and a bunch of steel mills not being able to produce as much as they used to. And I think that is completely going to throw off a lot of the Cybertruck's pricing to build. And they're quickly realizing how many batteries it's going to need. And all of the 4680 batteries they do build next year are going to go straight into Model Y. And they don't really see much of a way to also ramp 4680s for the truck as well. So my theory is a totally different approach. I don't think this is necessarily a positive one. It might be better for Tesla manufacturing wise, but I think it's going to be like there's only one trim. There's only
Yeah, that makes sense.
tri-motor.
Do you think they've cut back on that altogether because they want to show the truck first before they start letting you configure it again?
It could be that, but again, why get rid of the specs options if that's the case?
Because the PR phase of everything is past its prime. I think
you could argue that with the Semi and the Roadster.
No, I
Those are
agree.
still there.
I agree, but the Semi currently is not for Joe Schmoes like us, and the Roadsters is a collector's luxury commodity. Not even a commodity. It's just like it's a toy. Whereas
right,
the
I'm just
Cybertruck
using it as like you need a reason to remove something from the site.
No, I agree. I
phase is
agree.
over.
They could and should do the same, but there's not the same attention on that stuff as it is Cybertruck is the most trendy thing from Tesla over anything else. So because there's so much spotlight on it, they have to address that one first. At least by address, I mean pull some stuff away. I think the PR part is just it's too hot, and maybe they want to show the proper. Here's what it's actually going to look like, and then let you build from there. Because we still don't know everything about it. Even with the production finalized, we don't know what does change, what's going to look, what are your actual options with it. We just know the motor part. But Elon being Elon is always, cryptic, like, oh yeah, Matt Black, that doesn't seem like a bad idea. And it could just be talk or not. What if we don't know the wheels? How the wheels are going to operate differently. You can get the one that you see and you're going to have to pay $1,000 a tire, or you can get these regular other wheel. Like there's a lot of little things that that have to be taken into consideration. And I think that's more important about the build out of the vehicle than what motor are you buying. And that's going to dictate battery and price of it. It's going to also just everything else that kind of goes with it. Maybe the interiors are going to change. And right now, that's the thing. We're just kind of speculating. So I think they want to show what production model is going to be first before they go back to letting you build out your order, especially for all of us pre-order types where we'll be the first in line. They want to get that down. So when you go to website and now say you want to get one, Drew, you could build it out and have it ready. And now you're in the back of the line from all of us, but at least now you know what yours is locked in. And that's more important to give you a more realistic number than the pre-order people who just really it was $100 to put your place in line. That's refundable.
Yeah.
So if you don't like it, you can take your money back too, and that's fine too. But all that really was is just a placeholder in line. That's all.
Yeah.
Right. No, it doesn't go to the final
I agree
delivery.
with you that they should be consistent with semi and roadster as well. Assuming that what I'm saying is closer to true, that all that's really adjusting is pricing, and because they want to get the production part finalized first and sent that out. If that's true, then do that across the board. But if we're more like what you're saying, that no, there is no other options. There's just this one, 75,000. That's it. And if you want to get the tri-motor, 95,000. That's it. That's the new number. Then that's, if I a wise man once said, I'm worried about the Cybertruck.
Hey.
Even more so.
Kind of talk more on that point, Drew, that you mentioned before. It would be weird if they kept the options, the single, dual, and tri, but only allowed you to hit the buy now button and didn't give you the option to choose which one. You'd get more backlash from people saying, why can't I choose the tri-motor? I want the tri-motor. Why are you just letting me choose buy now? But I can see on the site there is a tri-motor. How do I know which one I got? And you'll have a lot more confused people calling into Tesla saying, I don't know which Cybertruck I ordered. Can you help me? They'll be like, sorry, we don't know.
Yeah.
Cybertruck, never heard of her.
Well, it's very bizarre. I've never seen Tesla in their history have a vehicle on their site without a starting price.
Yeah.
That I've never seen before, which I don't think is necessarily a good sign. I think that means if they're hiding a price, it's because it's not a good one. It's because it's not what it was intended to be, and it's going to be way more than they thought. And I can see them saying, we don't have the capacity for this. We're not going to have the capacity for even a $50,000 truck. We're not going to have the capacity for that for years. So similar to kind of Model Y right now, you can't order a standard range, but we're all kind of fingers crossed. Hopefully they bring it back at some point. China has one. So I think with the Cybertruck, they're just going to start off with the highest spec, longest range, knowing that will probably be only addressable to a smaller demographic, because they would rather you... If you can't spend $80,000 on the truck, then get a 3, get a Y. And if that isn't what you need, then sorry, we don't have what you need. Because we're going to need to secure a certain profit margin on these trucks, given how much it's going to cost. And kind of like Tesla original Roadster, it's like we can only address this demographic for now that can afford to pay this much, so that's what we're going to cater to. And over time, maybe they'll offer cheaper options down the road, but they're not going to let you reserve those for a long, long time.
If you have if you have a safety score of 99 or 100, it should be 45,000. 96 to 98, it should be 55.
Much cheaper for all the perfect safety scores.
Safety score should give you those prices and honor your pre-orders. Otherwise,
what kind of Black Mirror episode are we in now?
Yeah. I think
nosedive.
This is the risk we all take. This is funny because this is the bad side of early adoption that we're seeing.
Yeah.
Because this is the risk that we all take, knowing that nothing is promised or guaranteed, while other people are like, oh, wait until it's matured and get in when it's. We're seeing a different style of volatility when it comes to this stuff, and we're seeing the side that we don't like, because for us, we're thinking like, oh, that can't be good. Because I think it's fair to say, can we all agree? The bare minimum is we are not getting a $40,000 truck. Like, that's fair to say.
Yes.
So this is at least thinking like early adoption means things are changing pretty quickly, and we're not committed to anything because we didn't sign anything. We just what we did sign, the fine print did say Tesla has the right to adjust, and adjust they will.
Good thing they did that. Good job, Tesla legal team.
Yeah,
they're on top of it.
Well done. Yeah, they were like, let's not guarantee anything here.
You're trying to sell what?
You're trying to do what? My prediction is Tesla expected the backlash of the design to be worse. and they thought the demand would be much lower, so they priced it extra low so that people would be more comfortable with the design. And then way too many people grew to love it very quickly, and they quickly, in reservations, within a year or two, hit 1 million, and they were like, okay, well, this isn't possible, so we need to change our entire trajectory because we're not going to be able to make this many trucks, or
I will
whatever
give
the
you that.
capacity is.
I will give it to you only because all that was pre Model Y deployment and sales, and that was in 2019, and they still
That's right,
didn't.
it was.
They didn't realize how big they were about to be in less than what, 4 months, 5 months, screw it, 6 months. In half a year, they didn't realize how big their name was about to become. They knew they were niche big, trendy big, but actually like moving the market big, Fortune 500 big. That I don't think they predicted that to be the case coming up. So I will give it to you. I'll give it to you that I think they didn't realize how much attention. And honestly, I kind of give it to the Model Y and the success of that and all this attention that happened on Tesla last year to draw even more attention to the Cybertruck that just compounded on itself. Maybe this was going to be fine, happened in November, so then all December, January, February, so for the first 90 days, they're like, okay, yeah, this is okay. And then once Model Y started shipping, meeting numbers, doing well, and it just compounded on itself. Stock is healthy, company is ahead of schedule, sticking it to the man, not shutting down, people want their car, this whole thing, and just blows up so big. Well, that means also drawing attention to the Cybertruck, amongst other things as well. But now Cybertruck has the attention, and they're like, oh, well, maybe it'll calm down. And it just kept growing. Now he's on SNL, and you have Cybertruck making a debut not just in LA, but now it's in Texas, now it's in New York. And everyone's like, yes, I want this, and now it's the Tesla of the future. And all of a sudden,
it's the cheapest Tesla you can buy.
Yep. And now it's like, this is the cheapest thing. They're like, it's hot in here? So I'll give it to you, Drew. I'll say that they did not anticipate it because they were probably operating as they had done in the past as small niche. It's a fad. It's a trend for the moment for these enthusiasts, not knowing it was going to be a household name in less than 6 months.
And that the truck would single-handedly birth channels and podcasts.
Yeah.
People's careers have been built out of the Cybertruck.
Power of a product.
And it hasn't even been delivered. And look how influential it's become.
Yeah.
So,
crazy.
I'm still on Tesla's website looking for the fastest delivering Tesla. November Model 3 Performance is the quickest one I can get.
New?
But new. There's no used inventory for a price that I'm willing to pay anywhere in the United States.
Make me an offer.
Okay. Here's a bit of pocket fuzz and a few quarters.
Give me your friendship and we'll call it even.
Friendship, all right. I will give it all to you.
All right. Nick will buy Phoenix, and then Randy will buy a Rivian, and Mike will buy the Cybertruck. I'll be over here with the
one of the Rivians.
Diecast.
Wait.
I sell Phoenix only with the stipulation, and it will be in contract form, that the wrap stays on Phoenix.
The wrap stays.
For how long? What if it's like starting to flake off?
That baby's in the garage. I was actually having this conversation earlier this week. The wrap was projected to last 3 years. On the high end, maybe 5.
It's coming up.
But now that its life is in the garage and I'm babying the heck out of it, I'm going to get 6 years out of this sucker just by technicality alone. Just for the 3 years being here, I am going to get an easy 6 years out of this wrap. I am so happy that I have a garage to put this sucker in. That's right, people. Everyone's like, why do you need a garage? This is why. Not exposed to the elements. My car's...
my wrap.
So if I was to protect my wrap, and if I was to sell Phoenix, which I'm not saying I will, but if I was, the stipulation in contract is the wrap. You could change its name. It doesn't have to be Phoenix when you take custody, but the wrap has to stay. It is branding to its ultimate.
But hold on. The Rivian delivers in January of 2022.
There's a long
But
line.
it's Rivian, Nick. You're not gonna go to Starbase with a Rivian.
You could have a whole camping set.
You
could
can't
live
talk
out there.
to Elon while you're sitting in your Rivian.
I'm sure he'd be interested to see the Rivian, but
He's not talking about
I don't know.
What
I
is
just
this?
looked at the interior. Never mind. I just looked at the interior.
The interior's
How
not
dare
bad.
you?
What are you talking about?
How dare
It's
you,
great.
Nick?
They have
I love the
buttons and
interior.
two screens and
They have
a mirror.
The Cybertruck has 2
Ugh.
screens.
And they have green.
It has a mirror though. Ugh.
And it's green.
Cybertruck
just like
has
my,
to have mirrors.
Just like my watch I'm wearing. Oh, you thought. Not yet.
Oh my gosh. Jeez, this is sad because like the one time
I'll
probably...
keep looking for used inventory. What do you mean by willing to pay?
Well,
Like
I mean,
57,
I'd
like your
keep,
highest.
I'd like to keep it around 45 to 50,000.
Performances already out of there.
Right? Exactly. I know. It's like anyone that comes anytime before middle of next year is at that price point is not gonna happen.
Have you looked around, Nick, outside of Tesla's
show up on
website?
occasion.
I did just look at Craigslist.
Okay.
There are a few. There's
Ew.
one in Denver for 35,000, but I don't know how private party Tesla sales work at this point. I know that there
I
were
found
some
one
horror
on
stories.
Tesla's site that's under 50, and it has full self-driving.
Where is it?
Wow. Where is it?
I'll send you the link.
Okay.
It's in California.
Send us the link. I want to see it.
Well, I don't want to pay
Okay.
Californian taxes on that. You got to like quadruple the sales price. I'm pretty sure that's how
Oh,
taxes work.
Nick, you and your anti-Cal, Mister. I was born in La Jolla.
Well, you can't you can't take delivery in Texas, right?
That's right. You can't. I mean, you can't do it in Texas.
So
Eat that, Texas.
don't hate on Cali without hating on Texas.
That's right.
Also,
I'm gonna hate on
also you
everything.
can transport that vehicle for $500 to your closest
okay.
delivery location.
Oh, that's not too bad then.
Or I could just drive it. I don't mind.
Ooh, in Pomona.
Pomona.
I can go drag racing. That would be kind of cool.
Of course,
Your safety score will
it's a
take.
2020, so it's pretty new.
And-
When
they
you said
paid-
when you
they
said
paid
under
for that, Wyatt.
$50,000, Drew, you meant $500 under $50,000.
Still counts.
Well, if you said between 45 and 50, that qualifies.
Still counts.
Sure.
That works.
And this can be picked up
I'll
tomorrow.
keep looking. Well, I'm sure it's not. Unless you go to Pomona, I doubt you can pick it up tomorrow. But
You need it tomorrow?
Okay, so
okay?
here's why I
Wow.
say
Stop dying.
it hurts. I need water. Here's why I think this is a good deal, Nick. I'm gonna double down on this because standard range plus, or what we prefer here on Talos of EV, standard range. Let's be what we prefer to call it, standard range.
Of course.
Rear wheel with FSD, with the, at the time you can tell because of the trim, with the upgraded white paint. At the time they paid an additional $1,500, $2,000 for that.
Yeah.
no, this is 2020.
Yes.
It was free at
But
the
it
time.
still,
No,
it
wasn't.
it does still have the chrome. I do like that. It does still
The
have
chrome, it became
They
free,
made
Drew.
white the free color in 2019.
Did they? You're
I
lying
think
to
so,
me.
yeah.
All right, I believe you.
But it has
Fine.
the old center
Fine.
console, which I
It has the old
believe
center. No,
is a pretty good center console in my opinion.
it's a great center console, and if it's a 2020, that means it's also wireless. It already has the wireless built in.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll encourage the fact that if it has FSD, there will not be any depreciation. As far as I can tell, in the
selling
used
point.
vehicle market, FSD vehicles do not depreciate. They, if anything, they go up because Tesla's going to raise.
If
the
I
price
was in the
on it,
market,
so-
Nicholas, I would buy this one for 45 too.
And you get the
Easy.
warranty.
I found one for 49.
45 too?
Oof.
Oh, I found one for 48.
What paint color?
Black.
Ew. It's gonna burn up into
But-
smithereens.
How dare you?
It's 48,000 with full self-driving.
This has just become shopping for Nick. the podcast.
Yes, I love this.
No,
show. This is
I
my
told
favorite
you.
show.
I had a goal at the beginning of this show. I'm gonna stay true to it.
We have 10 more minutes. We can make this work. And besides,
Okay,
I,
so
honestly, I would buy
cheaper.
this one. Get it, Nick. Get it, dude.
It has front and rear heated seats.
Excuse me. I need to
That's
get water.
something I
being
need to
standard
do
range.
in Starbase.
Oh right, yeah. Well, I mean, it can get cold there, I'm sure, on occasion. The trick is when you look at the used inventory, they don't arrange them. Even though the website says price low to high, it's not true. You scroll down, you'll find lower prices. It's broken. You know, Tesla's the king of software, but there are ways to go about that. So
You're making me want to buy one just to not have a safety score on it.
this is my non-safety score Tesla. That's not a bad idea,
I
actually.
can go
if you
around
had
corners
screw
how
you
fast
money.
I want in a fast sedan that goes 0 to 60 in 5.3, which he has about a whole, about 0.5.
Still 10 times faster than my car.
Half a second slower than my Y. I'm down. And it's got aero.
Your car goes
rims.
0 to 60 in 53 seconds, Drew.
I wish.
Honestly, if the biggest
No.
problem with this car is the mileage, and that's why it's cheaper, get it. That's baby mileage.
Yeah,
for
you don't
a
have
car.
to
Because mileage doesn't matter on it.
Mileage doesn't matter. People equate like, oh, what's the mileage? Like you're associating that to a transmission. Ladies and gentlemen, there are no transmissions when it comes to
there's
Teslas.
no oil.
Mileage means
So
nothing.
I wouldn't worry about it.
If they did away with mileage as a whole, like, oh, what's the age of the who cares? No, what's the age of the battery is what I would ask.
I would love
And
to
you're-
drive this thing all the way to Texas. No matter how crazy it would be with 250
That
miles
black,
of range.
I forget how nice black looks.
Black doesn't
Especially
look
with the
bad.
I like it better
I
with the
love
chrome
that.
delete.
No, I love the chrome. The chrome. That's beautiful. Looks like a
Oh,
proper
okay.
vehicle.
It's like pre-Cybertruck.
Nick, buy my car.
Cybertruck metal.
It's a little.
I changed my
teaser of
mind.
what's
Buy
to
my
come.
car, Nick, and you can take the wrap off.
Well-
I forgot how pretty this is.
Oh, gee.
Or you could just take the wrap off your car.
Never.
Never. Well,
spent-
Mike, you've been driving a lot. Have you been spotting any upcoming EV? Have you seen any Lucids or Rivians?
I've seen nothing but plaid Model S's everywhere. No.
Oh.
Thanks for pivoting the conversation, though. I'm sure we'll return back to the Model 3. Yeah, I saw a Honda Civic, but it was a $130,000 Honda Civic, being the Mercedes EQS.
I get it. Yeah, it doesn't. I'll be honest. I saw a lot of Civics this weekend, thinking, "Is that the EQS?" It's hard to tell, but I don't know. Do we
I don't
hate on
know.
the EQS too much?
No,
Yes, because its exterior is stupid and they could have done a Bugatti-looking exterior. Instead, they settled for
now
a
you're
Honda
just being
Civic.
mean.
It's terrible.
Mike's like, yes,
Burn
but
it to the ground.
rightfully
No.
so.
I owned a Honda Civic. I loved it. But no, for $130,000, you could do so much better Mercedes. Come on.
Yeah, I have to agree.
The interior's
I also
not
was
bad, but
very disappointed by the range EPA.
Yeah, didn't they
test.
say like 4 something or 5 something with that
Yeah,
thing?
when I scrolled back, I kept doing videos saying like Model S is still the king of range. It's the longest range EV that's actually been delivered. And all these people said, what about EQS? But EQS though, like all these comments kept bringing up the EQS. And I was like, first of all, EQS deliveries haven't started, so shut up. Second of all, we don't know the official range of the EQS. And everyone kept saying, well, Mercedes says it's going to get over 400 miles. But they were not stating on which standard it was getting over 400 miles. They just said over 400. So everyone was like, okay, great, Mercedes beat Tesla, because that's going to obviously beat the Model S. Now they finally get an EPA test. The range is 340 miles with all-wheel drive and 350 with rear-wheel drive. So the Model 3 has a longer range than the EQS, and it's like less than half the price. So I'm sure luxury, right? Like it's still got its
It's got
interior going
massage
for it. I get that.
seat and beautiful panoramic screen and all that.
I dig a lot of the luxury features, but I just think that people were way overhyping the specs of the EQS. They thought it was going to be some kind of Model S competition, and I was like, nah,
It's
no.
a Lucid competition, which Lucid better.
Well, if
get
it's a
on
beauty
that.
match, I think Lucid will win. But if it's a delivery match, I think Mercedes will win.
Randy and Nick, I don't know if
Sorry.
you've kept updated with prototypes in the wild, but Foxconn recently had a prototype leak online, and they have what they call it the Foxconn Foxtron. And
Oh gosh.
very terrible name, but what's even more hilarious about the car is if you look at it once, you could have sworn it's a Lucid Air.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if you
So
want.
Foxconn's just ripping them off, huh?
Basically, it looks very similar.
I know Foxconn was trying to get into the EV market. I don't remember where I saw that, but I know that they've been trying to pivot. And
Well, they bought Lordstown's factory.
Ah.
Which means we've
I know
got
this was a
Foxcons and Endurance.
Foxtrons.
Foxtrons and Endurances being built right next to each other.
Yep.
what a weird time.
We live in a weird reality. This,
It's a very
Yeah.
this
weird
is
time.
the strangest
But I think
multiverse.
the question is, will Foxconn deliver a vehicle first or Lucid?
My money would be on Foxtron.
Really?
Foxtron.
I think Foxconn would do it. Doesn't mean they'll come to the U.S.
So,
first, but they will
is it
deliver.
really a clone if it comes out first?
No, man, that's
No.
a good question.
Now, Lucid is the Foxconn clone.
They're already
Oh.
a copy of Tesla, or they were a defunct
That's a good
branch
question.
of Tesla. So
Mm.
they're now
Yeah.
a defunct branch of Tesla that's copying Foxconn.
Yeah. I kind of love it. I think people in the EV community are very different from the tech community. I think the tech community has kind of gotten comfortable with the idea of copying each other. Like, feature comes out on an Android phone, and we're like, okay, Apple's going to have that in 4 years. Or iOS has a certain feature, and then Android gets it a year later, and we're like, okay, great, now we got that. Whereas this whole Rivian versus Tesla thing, everyone's angry that Rivian, they copied all of Tesla's ideas, and I was like, but I like Tesla, so
Yeah,
copy the good stuff.
I would make that same case for tech as well. That if it's the good thing, copy it. Like that's you can't trademark it anyway, so copy it, take it.
Right?
Good,
Yeah. it's
good
like if
artists
they-
copy, great artists steal, or something like that.
yeah.
If
I
Foxconn
think
ships first,
Gandhi said that.
What?
our version of Gandhi said that.
Oh well. Yeah.
Does that mean we don't get to
I
sell Nick
think-
on an EV now?
So Nick's battery just died, which I means he's in the market for a new MacBook. Good news. I think there's a lot of IP that was stolen from Tesla that is legally Tesla's allowed to pursue this for. I was hearing Tesla make claims about like certain employees bringing even company equipment over to Rivian. Like computers and stuff. I was hearing that, and I was like, okay, that I can understand wanting to sue over.
Yeah, that's
but
bad.
there's a lot of people taking Rivian stealing trade secrets and associating that with what Rivian does is just copy Tesla, because they look at the display, they look at the interior, and they look at, I think in Rivian's IPO filing, they brought up like that we want to offer a $10,000 self-driving software package, and everyone was like,
I'm sure
"Hey,
you do."
Rivian's they're just copying Tesla. They're just copying," and it's like, well, expect a lot of that, because Tesla is basically just figuring out what all automakers are going to have to figure out anyway. So yeah, like it's okay for them to copy and do things that are, the things we like about Tesla. Although
Right.
some people probably don't like the $10,000 package, so maybe don't copy that part. But
You're right. We'll
It's
make it
okay.
11.
I think I think in the future, all vehicles are probably going to have a big 17-inch or 15-inch landscape display, and they're all going to have some self-driving tech or some self-parking or like people were getting angry on Twitter because Rivian had their own version of Sentry Mode. They were like, "See, all they do is copy Tesla." And I was
That's
like,
good.
"That's a good feature."
More Sentry
good
mode,
thing.
please.
Yeah, we want more features like that
More
coming to other
options.
vehicles. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's okay if they see a feature that Tesla did and they liked it, so they implemented it. Like, I have no issue with that. If you see Tesla with their feature being, we have really good range, so another company's like, we want really good range too. I'm not going to you copied that.
You're copying Tesla with that range.
So I don't care when they do that personally, but
Yeah.
have you found your dream car yet, Nick?
No,
Yes, you have.
I'm very sad.
What about the one I sent you? What's wrong with that one?
The white one.
The black one.
Yeah, the 48,000.
So the more I was
With
thinking
FSD.
about it, like, why not Model Y? I'd much rather have a Model Y. What are the?
I'm not giving you mine.
So number one,
You're not taking mine.
the first disadvantage is it costs a lot more.
A lot more. Okay.
Second
I'd fit in it.
disadvantage, the price.
But I fit in it.
Just change the seat. To
Nick, this
for
is a problem
one-
you're going to have for the rest of your life, I promise.
But I'd fit in
I've
the
seen
Model
you
Y.
drive a Model 3, Nick.
Okay, so on the Model 3, Randy, can you
Yeah.
fold the rear seats down to like have extra trunk space?
Yes.
Can you?
I wasn't asking you, Drew. Randy,
Yeah.
can you fold the back seats down to do?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
I know that.
No,
Okay.
Drew's lying.
I do that in my car. Most sedans have that.
Okay.
I don't
And you can
understand.
move
I've
your
not
seat
seen a
back,
sedan.
Nick. Like you're not if you're the captain of this ship, you can really pull that seat back and have the legroom that you need.
Yeah, and I know I can fit in a Model 3. I've done them many times, hundreds of times, but
Yes, you have.
it's less comfortable, and I may not have wrecked a B pillar once trying to get into a Model 3.
Now you're
can't
under
fold the seats
scrutiny
down.
of the law.
Yeah.
All I'm trying to say is you cannot buy a Model Y under $50,000, used, new, or total.
Me too, Drew. I agree.
Yep.
Drew's
Yep.
Starlinking right now. Right when he said you.
He said, "What I really think you need to do."
What I'm trying to tell you to do, Nick, is
And that is why you should buy a Model Y, Nick.
Absolutely,
fully
100%
agree.
agree with that. Thank you, Mike. Model Y
It started
for the win.
buffering. It started loading right as Mike said, and that is why.
All right, thank you, Mike. I have now placed my
This is so
reservation for the Performance Model Y and be delivered in December. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I
Very
want you to get
convincing
any
argument.
Tesla as soon as possible. I don't care what
who
you
would
do.
have thought
I'm just saying,
Starlinking was all you needed to get your your argument sold?
all I'm saying is, if your budget is 50 grand, you can't go Model Y.
Okay.
Actually, if your budget's 55 grand, you can't get Model Y.
Actually, if you have a budget, you can't go Model Y.
I mean, this is also true.
You lost them again.
We lost Drew again. My goodness. I think that means we need to end the show.
Maybe I don't.
I think we
want
do need to
Starlink
wrap it
anymore.
up. I
Any
don't
closing
want Sta-
thoughts, gentlemen, excluding Drew?
My closing thought is you don't need Starlink. And I know Drew doesn't even hear it, so.
I totally need Starlink.
I'm
Okay.
worried
Ask
about the.
not what you can do for Tesla. Ask what your Tesla can do for you.
Oh,
And I'm worried about my Cybertruck.
I was gonna say I'm worried about the Tesla bot.
Dude, I've been more worried about the Cybertruck than anyone has the right to admit.
Closing thoughts, Drew?
We've gone from will the Cybertruck deliver in 2021 to will the Cybertruck deliver at some point in time?
To
Will
Nick
there-
seriously researching non-Cybertrucks again? Dang it.
All I'm saying is you got to look at it as an investment because you'll get your money back.
Oh.
So if you get a
Investment.
used Model 3,
I'm
or
going to go
whatever,
talk to Dave Ramsey about that first.
Go ahead. Let me know what he says.
Yeah, so Dave, my friend told me that a Tesla's an investment. I'm going to go
That's
into
not
a
a phone.
bunch of debt to go get a Tesla.
Your
but it's
friend's a
gonna be great.
freaking loser. That's what he'll say. That thing sucks.
It's all about Nikola though.
Can't
All
even
right.
go to a gas station. Exactly.
Closing thoughts, gents.
We already
did
said.
it.
Oh,
We
just did.
yeah, you bugged out already when we
Oh.
did that.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.